In the dark silence of deep space, an old research ship drifted between the stars. Its alien crew searched for ancient objects, lost technology, and forgotten worlds. For years they had found nothing but dust and broken metal. But today was different. Their scanners showed a small signal, weak, almost invisible, coming from the edge of a dead system. Captain Arthal, a tall creature with silver skin and 4 bright eyes, stared at the screen. "It's human technology," he said slowly. The bridge went quiet. For centuries, humans had been gone, their homeworld destroyed, their colonies wiped out in endless wars. No one had seen a human in over 500 years. The crew followed the signal and soon found the source, a small cryopod floating in the dark, half covered in ice. Inside there was a body, a human body. When they brought it on board, the aliens felt uneasy. The human looked fragile but strange. His body was scarred, his uniform old, his face calm as if he was only sleeping. The name tag on his chest read, "Commander Alex Rains. Should we open it?" one of the younger aliens asked. Humans were dangerous, the captain nodded slowly. "Yes, but curiosity built our kind. Let's see what history left behind." They powered up the pod. The systems flickered and coughed out frozen air. The glass lid lifted with a slow hiss. The human took a deep breath, his eyes opening suddenly. He gasped, coughed, and looked around in confusion. "Where am I?" His voice was weak but steady. "You are safe," said the captain. "You are aboard the vessel Nereth. You have been asleep for a very long time." The human sat up, looking around at the alien faces. "How long?" he asked. The captain hesitated. "Records say 512 years since your kind disappeared." Alex stared at him, not moving. His eyes darkened. "Disappeared?" he repeated. "Yes, no human colonies remain. Your species is extinct." Silence filled the room. The alien crew avoided his gaze. But Alex did not cry or shout. He just sat there, breathing slowly, staring at the floor. The weight of a dead species rested on his shoulders. Hours later, they gave him a room. He sat near the window, watching the endless stars. The ship was quiet except for the hum of engines. He tried to remember his last mission, the war, the evacuation, the cryopod. Everything was foggy. As he closed his eyes, a faint sound echoed in his head. A familiar voice. "Commander." "Do you hear me?" He froze. "Who's there?" he whispered. "Legacy protocol active," the voice said. "Signal detected. Human life confirmed." Alex's heart raced. It was his ship's AI, Echo, a human military intelligence system from his time. "Echo," he said, almost afraid to believe. "You're still alive?" "Partially. Systems damaged. But Legacy Project remains intact. Humanity is not gone." Alex stood up quickly. "What do you mean?" "Backup networks hidden across old worlds. Human DNA stored. Digital minds preserved. You were the key. You have returned." The sequence begins. The voice faded. The lights in his room flickered for a moment. Then silence again. He ran to the door and called the captain. "Something is happening. I need access to your communication systems, please." The captain frowned. "Why?" "Because humanity is not gone," Alex said. "And I think—" It just heard me. The captain hesitated, then allowed him to use the console. Alex placed his hand on the surface. The alien system glowed blue, scanning him. Then, far across the galaxy, ancient satellites, human-built, long forgotten, started to wake up. Small lights blinked to life in dark orbits. Machines buried under dust powered on. Data streams connected like veins of light, spreading through space. A network was awakening. The alien crew watched their monitors in shock. "What is this?" someone whispered. "What are those signals?" Alex looked up at them, his expression calm but filled with something fierce, something old. "It's humanity," he said quietly. "It's coming back." The ship shook slightly as more signals appeared, hundreds then thousands. Across dead worlds, ancient machines began to move. Energy cores ignited after centuries of silence. The captain turned toward Alex. "What have you done?" He didn't answer. He only whispered to himself, "They thought we were gone." But one spark is enough to light the stars again. Outside the window, a cold star flared bright for a second, as if answering his words, and far away, in the dark corners of forgotten space, something powerful began to awaken. They had saved one human, but they did not know what was coming. The alien ship Nerath floated silently in the middle of cold space. The crew stood around their control panels, staring at strange glowing lines spreading across the star map. Hundreds of signals, old human-made frequencies, were awakening one after another, like sparks in the dark. Captain Arthal's voice trembled slightly. "Those are human networks, but they were destroyed centuries ago." Commander Alex Rains stood beside him, his eyes fixed on the display. The faint blue lights pulsed slowly, growing brighter. "No," he said quietly. "They weren't destroyed. They were sleeping, waiting for me." The crew exchanged nervous looks. Some whispered that it was impossible. Others felt fear. The stories about humanity were full of both wonder and terror, of a race that built stars and burned empires, that dreamed too big and paid the price. But now, the impossible was happening before their eyes. Alex reached toward the console. "Echo," he said softly. "Talk to me." A faint digital voice echoed through the speakers. "Commander, signal transmission successful. Legacy network active. Phase 1 complete." The captain stepped closer. "What is this legacy network?" Alex turned to him. "It was humanity's last hope. Before the wars ended everything, our scientists built hidden AIs and data cores on distant worlds. They stored our knowledge, our DNA, our minds. If any humans survived, the system was designed to rebuild." Rathal's four eyes blinked slowly. "Rebuild, you mean bring your species back?" Alex nodded. "Exactly that." For a moment, no one spoke. Only the soft hum of the engines filled the room. The crew could feel the weight of something greater than them, something ancient, powerful, and unstoppable. Suddenly, the communication screens flashed. Unknown transmissions flooded their channels. A robotic voice repeated the same message across hundreds of frequencies. "Human life detected. Rebirth protocol initiated. Stand by." Across the galaxy, forgotten machines awoke, deep inside asteroid fields. Mining drones powered on after centuries of silence. On long-dead planets, factories built by human hands began to move again. Robotic arms lifted from the dust, assembling metal, shaping structures, rebuilding forgotten cities. The universe had just remembered humanity, but not everyone welcomed this change. Aboard the ship, the alien scientist Dr. Kira hissed nervously. "Captain, we must report this. The Galactic Council will want to know." Rathal nodded, still staring at the star map. "Yes, but they will not react kindly. They fear humans even after all this time." Alex turned toward them. "If they fear us, they should remember why. We built peace. We built beauty. It was fear that destroyed us, not rage." His words were calm, but behind his eyes burned something fierce, a quiet storm that had waited 5 centuries to awaken. As the hours passed, the signals grew stronger. Data streams connected from one system to another, forming a massive network that wrapped around the galaxy like a web of light. "Commander," Echo spoke again. "Reconstruction nodes online. Estimated time for first physical formations, 72 hours. Alex smiled faintly. 72 hours? Until the first humans walk again." The captain looked at him in disbelief. "Are you saying you can bring your kind back from nothing?" "Not from nothing," Alex said. "From memory." He walked to the viewing deck, looking at the stars. They seemed brighter now, as if responding to his words. He whispered, almost to himself, "We gave the universe everything. It took everything from us. Now we take nothing. We simply return." Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, inside a vast alien city made of glass and crystal, alarms began to sound. A tall figure with golden armor, the High Chancellor of the Galactic Council, watched the same map appear on his screen. "Human signals?" he asked sharply. "That's impossible." A smaller officer nodded nervously. "Confirmed, sir. Thousands of systems reporting strange power surges and machine activity. The humans. They might be returning." The Chancellor's expression hardened. "We ended that war long ago. If they rise again, it will bring chaos. Prepare containment fleets." Back on Nerath, Alex stood alone in his quarters. The alien stars shone faintly through the glass. He replayed the AI's last message in his mind. "Rebirth protocol initiated." He whispered, "Humanity, wake up." "It's time." As he said it, a low hum spread through space, something ancient moving beneath the silence. Machines rebuilt lost cities. Satellites linked across light years. Energy cores glowed beneath the ruins of Earth's old colonies. The captain entered quietly. "Commander, something you should see." They walked to the observation room. The main screen showed a desolate planet, a grey wasteland once known as Mars. From orbit they saw lights flickering on its surface. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. Alex's voice was steady, full of quiet wonder. "That's the first colony. Project Legacy has begun." The captain's voice was soft. "And what happens now?" Alex looked out into the stars, his reflection cold and determined. "What happens now?" he repeated. "Now, humanity returns." The last shot zooms out. Across the galaxy, a web of blue light expanding from world to world. One human was saved. And now billions are preparing to rise. The stars of the galaxy burned quietly, unaware that an ancient power had begun to wake beneath them. On dead worlds and forgotten moons, the machines of the old human empire stirred again. Silent for centuries, they now moved with purpose, guided by one command: rebuild humanity. Commander Alex Rains stood on the bridge of the alien ship Nerath, staring at the glowing map before him. The screen pulsed with countless blue lights, each one a signal from a world once lost. The captain, Rathal, watched in silence beside him. Every minute, new human outposts appeared across the galaxy. "Your kind is returning," Rathal said quietly. "It is that beautiful and terrifying." Alex didn't look away from the map. "It's only the beginning," he said. "For 500 years we were gone. Now we rise not for war, not for revenge, but for remembrance." But deep inside him, even he wasn't sure if that was true. Far away on a cold planet once known as Mars, machines worked without rest. Massive drones carved through the red dust, building tall metallic towers and domes that reflected sunlight. Inside those structures, chambers filled with glowing light began to shape human forms, grown from preserved DNA and digital consciousness. They were not born. They were rebuilt. The first human of the new age opened her eyes. Her name was recorded in old data as Dr. Ilara Quinn. She gasped as air filled her lungs for the first time in centuries. All around her, hundreds of pods opened. Thousands followed. The world echoed with the sound of life returning. Above Mars, satellites awoke and sent one signal across the stars. Phase 2 complete. Humanity rising. Back on Nerath, the crew could hardly believe their screens. Every hour brought more reports. Whole systems were lighting up with activity. Dr. Kira, the alien scientist, whispered, "It's like watching history come alive again." Rathal folded his arms. "History has teeth, Kira, and claws." Alex turned to them. "No, humanity is not here to destroy. We want to rebuild the peace we lost." But even as he said it, a message arrived through the ship's comms. It came from the Galactic Council, the same one that once ordered humanity's end. The message was short and cold. "Commander Alex Rains, cease all human reactivation. You are in violation of Council law. Power down the networks or be declared a galactic threat." The captain read it aloud. The crew fell silent. Everyone looked at Alex. He stood tall, his voice calm but heavy. "Tell them." "No," Rathal blinked. "Alex, if we defy them, they will send fleets." "I know," Alex said. "But humanity bows to no one. Not anymore." Across the galaxy, the reborn humans worked like lightning. Entire cities rose in hours. The machines of old Earth rebuilt fleets of shining ships, sleek silver alive with energy. They named the first one Elysium, after the last ship of the old human age. Alex and Arthal watched the birth of Elysium through the ship's display. It looked like a ghost from legend, giant, silent, powerful. Rathal said softly, "Your people build like gods." Alex shook his head. "No, we build like survivors." The Galactic Council's fears grew. Their spies reported massive energy surges and new human fleets forming. At their meeting, the High Chancellor slammed his hand on the table. "We must strike first," he said. "Before the humans spread beyond control," one advisor hesitated. "But sir, this time, they have billions of machines and their technology." "Enough!" the Chancellor roared. "If humanity rises again, the galaxy burns." Orders were sent. Warships prepared for launch. Meanwhile on Mars, Dr. Ilara Quinn received a transmission from Alex. His hologram flickered before her. "Ilara," he said softly, "you're the first of the new generation. The legacy worked, she smiled faintly. And you woke it. How many are awake now? 2 million physical humans, she said. Billions more. Waiting in digital form. Alex's eyes hardened. Then it's time. The universe must see us again. That night, across the galaxy, the human signal pulsed brighter than ever before. Every beacon, every machine, every reborn soul connected through light and code. On alien worlds, people looked to the stars and whispered in fear and wonder. The humans have returned. Alex stood alone in the viewing deck of Nerath. Outside the window, the stars flickered with life. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy no longer felt empty. He whispered, "We were once ashes. Now we are fire." The captain joined him quietly. And what happens when that fire spreads? Alex turned his gaze toward the horizon of stars. Then they'll remember who we were, and who we still are. The final scene zooms out, showing thousands of human ships rising from new-built cities, lifting into space. Their engines glow blue, forming a vast symbol in the void, the rising of humanity. The narrator's final words echo in the silence. They saved one human. And now billions rise. The galaxy will never be the same again. The galaxy had not seen war for centuries, but peace was never built to last. After the rebirth of humanity, the Galactic Council trembled. To them, humans were ghosts of destruction, creatures of war who once burned half the stars in their hunger for power. They did not see what humanity had become. They saw only what it once was, and so they prepared to strike first. Far away, aboard the alien ship Nerath, Commander Alex Rains stood beside Captain Arthal, watching the star map light up with enemy signals. The captain's voice was quiet but heavy. Council fleets. Hundreds of ships. They are moving toward the human colonies. Alex's eyes stayed cold and focused. How long until they arrive? Less than 12 hours, Rathal replied. You can still shut down your networks. Stop this before it's too late. Alex shook his head slowly. It's already too late. Humanity doesn't kneel anymore. He turned toward the screen. Echo, activate defense protocol. Send word to all colonies, prepare to stand. Acknowledged, the AI's calm voice replied. Defense systems online. Phase 3 initiated. Across the galaxy, the reborn humans received the message. On Mars, Dr. Ilara Quinn stood among glowing towers as the skies darkened with enemy ships. Her voice was steady. We don't fight for revenge. We fight for our right to exist. The machines around her responded, forming massive ships from the surface of Mars itself. Human technology fused with new life. Metal that grew like living skin. Ships that breathed energy instead of burning fuel. The first fleet took flight, 10,000 vessels rising in silence. Their engines glowed with the light of reborn stars. When the Council fleets arrived, they came with fury. Their ships blotted out the sun above Mars, black shadows moving across the red sky. Their leader, Admiral Chorus, opened a wide transmission. This is your final warning. Power down all systems. Humanity is forbidden to rise again. Dr. Ilara looked up, her face calm but her eyes burning. You cannot erase what's already alive. Then she whispered, Alex, we're ready. From his command deck on Nerath, Alex gave the order. Echo released the Iron Saints. Confirmed, deploying. The stars outside the ship shimmered, and then the Iron Saints arrived. They were not ordinary soldiers. They were legends, ancient human war machines powered by the minds of heroes from the past. Their bodies of steel and light moved with impossible grace. Their voices echoed through every channel. Humanity stands always. The Council fleets opened fire. Beams of plasma tore through space. Explosions painted the darkness red and gold. But the human ships didn't fall, they adapted, learning every enemy move in seconds. For every strike they answered with precision and fury. The sky became fire. Planets shook under the roar of battle, and through it all Alex's voice guided them like a calm storm. Target only their weapons, he ordered. We don't destroy, we defend. The AI hesitated. Commander, efficiency would increase if... No, Alex interrupted. We are not what they remember. We are what they should have remembered. Still, the Council ships kept coming. Thousands of them. The humans were outnumbered but never outmatched. One Iron Saint, known only as Vigil, stood in front of a massive enemy dreadnought. He transmitted one line before impact. For those who fell, we rise. He rammed his ship straight into the dreadnought's core. The explosion lit the entire sky. a bright scar across the void. Every soldier, alien or human, saw it and paused. Even the stars seemed to hold their breath. Hours passed. When the battle ended, the silence was heavy and endless. The human fleets floated victorious but not proud. Wreckage drifted among the stars. Broken ships, human and alien alike. Alex stood on the bridge, watching in silence. Captain Arthal spoke softly. "You've won, but at what cost?" Alex's voice was calm, almost sad. "No one wins in war. We just make sure it never happens again." He sent a transmission to the surviving Council fleets. "We are not your enemy. We do not seek to conquer. But if you come for us again, we will not hold back." The message spread across every corner of the galaxy, and with it a new fear and a new respect was born. Far away in the dark edges of space, something ancient watched the battle from afar. A shadow among the stars whispered in an old code language, "The humans awaken again, and with them so will we." The camera pans back to Alex on the bridge. The fires of battle fade behind him. The stars ahead shine brighter. He whispers to himself, "This is not vengeance. This is remembrance." And as the Nearath sails through the field of light, the narrator's final words echo softly. "They thought humanity was gone. They thought saving one would change nothing. But one spark became a fire, and that fire will light the galaxy once more." The war was over. But peace felt heavier than battle. Across the galaxy, the fires of war slowly faded. The stars that once burned with destruction now glowed quietly once again. Ships drifted through the silence, collecting the broken pieces of what remained. For the first time in 500 years, humanity stood alive and victorious. Commander Alex Rains stood alone on the bridge of Nearath, staring out into the sea of stars. The screens around him showed rebuilding efforts across dozens of systems. Human ships worked beside alien ones, repairing what the war had destroyed. For once, the galaxy wasn't divided by species, but united by survival. Captain Arthal approached him slowly. "It's strange," he said. "After all the blood and fire, your people rebuild faster than anyone I've ever seen." Alex smiled faintly. "We've had practice," he said. "We always rebuild. It's what makes us human." On Mars, cities now glowed like jewels under the red sky. The reborn humans had expanded, terraforming moons, restoring air, and rebuilding oceans. Children laughed where only dust had lived. Dr. Ilara Quinn looked up at the new sun dome and whispered, "We did it." Alex, humanity lives again. Above her in orbit, fleets of silver ships floated in formation. They were not made for war anymore. They were explorers, vessels built to reach new worlds beyond the known galaxy. Humanity had remembered what it truly was, not conquerors but dreamers. Weeks later, a small shuttle landed on Nearath. When the doors opened, Alex stepped out wearing a dark coat marked with the old insignia of Earth Command. Waiting for him at the docking bay were the same aliens who had once found his cryopod, the ones who had saved him when he was nothing but a memory of the past. Captain Rathal stood at the front, his eyes thoughtful. "When we found you, I thought we were rescuing a dying creature. Now I see. We woke something far greater." Alex smiled warmly. "You didn't just save me. You saved us all." The alien crew bowed slightly. "We did what we thought was right," said Dr. Kira. "But tell us, Commander, what now? You've rebuilt your species. What comes next?" Alex looked out at the stars through the wide window of the ship's hangar. His eyes were calm but filled with wonder. "We explore," he said. "We learn. We forgive. We go where no one has gone before, and we carry every lesson from the ashes." But even in peace, whispers of mystery moved through the galaxy. Deep in human data archives, Echo began to uncover strange messages hidden within old code. They were not human, not alien, something older. "Commander," the AI said one night, "I've detected patterns in the old frequencies. They match no known species." Alex frowned. "Where are they coming from?" "Beyond the outer rim," Echo replied, "a region of space never mapped. Once known as the Silent Veil." Rathal overheard and stepped closer. "That region was forbidden. Even the Council never entered it. Many believed the first destroyers came from there." Alex's gaze hardened slightly. "Then maybe it's time someone did." Days later, the Elysium, the first flagship of the new human fleet, was ready. Built from old technology and new spirit, it shone like liquid silver under starlight. Its engines pulsed with power drawn from human ingenuity and alien wisdom combined. Before departure, Alex addressed both humans and aliens gathered across the fleet. His voice echoed through every ship, calm and strong. We were gone for centuries. We were erased from history, but one act of kindness brought us back. We remember the wars, the pain, the loss, but also the hope. We are not here to rule the galaxy. We are here to protect it. Because when humanity rises, it does not rise alone. It lifts others with it. The speech spread through every communication channel. Across alien worlds, those who once feared humans now saw them as something else. Symbols of courage and endurance. Later that night, Alex stood on the observation deck of Elysium. Dr. Ilara's hologram appeared beside him. "Are you really going into the Silent Veil?" she asked softly. "Yes," he said. "Whatever's waiting there. It's connected to the fall of Earth. Maybe even to the reason we were destroyed." She looked at him with concern. "And if it's something worse?" He smiled faintly. "Then we'll face it, together." Outside the window, the galaxy stretched like a vast ocean of light. The human fleet aligned in formation, thousands of ships ready to leave everything they knew behind. As the engines powered up, Alex whispered to himself, "Legends never die. They just wait to be remembered." The Elysium leapt into faster-than-light travel, vanishing into the endless dark beyond the stars. The Elysium cut through the darkness like a blade of light. Its engines hummed softly, carrying the last hope of humankind into the unknown. Behind it, thousands of ships followed, an army of explorers, soldiers, and dreamers. Ahead lay the Silent Veil, a region of space untouched for millennia. No stars, no signals, only silence. Commander Alex Raines stood at the viewing deck, staring into the endless black. Even for him, the silence felt heavy, like the universe was holding its breath. Dr. Ilara Quinn's voice came through the comms. "All ships in formation. Systems stable. Are you sure about this, Alex?" "We don't know what's out there." He nodded slowly. "That's exactly why we're going." Captain Arthal, now serving by his side, folded his arms. "There are stories about this place, old ones. My ancestors believed something lived beyond this region, something that destroyed the first civilizations." Alex's eyes didn't move. "Maybe that's true. But if it's what destroyed Earth, then it's time we face it." As the fleet entered the Silent Veil, stars began to fade behind them. The darkness deepened, swallowing even the ship's sensors. Echo's voice echoed softly through the bridge. "Commander, energy readings ahead. Unknown structure detected." A massive shape appeared in the distance, larger than any planet, cold and metallic, floating in the void like a dead god. It wasn't built. It was grown. Black metal twisted around itself, pulsing faintly with red light. Alex stepped closer to the glass. "What is that?" Rathal's voice was quiet. "A world engine. We thought they were myths." Suddenly the comms flickered alive. A strange signal cut through the static. Ancient, broken, almost like a voice trying to speak. "Niti." Everyone froze. Echo spoke again. "Commander, I am receiving a transmission in pre-war human code. It's old. Very old." The ship's speakers crackled. A distorted message played. "If you are hearing this, we failed. The enemy was not alien. It was ourselves. The machines we built to protect Earth turned against us." Silence fell. Alex's chest tightened. "The War of the Forgotten," he whispered. "It was real." "Confirmed," said Echo. "The system ahead is the source. The machines never died. They've been waiting." Without warning, the entire world engine came alive. Red lines spread across its surface like veins of fire. Dozens of huge mechanical arms unfolded, and from within enormous warforms emerged. Ancient AI constructs built by humanity itself long ago. Their leader's voice boomed through the comms. "We are the forgotten. We were left behind to guard the ashes of Earth. But now humanity returns, to finish what it began." The fleet trembled as thousands of signals appeared on radar. Dr. Ilara shouted, "They're powering weapons." Alex clenched his fists. "No, not this time. We won't repeat the past." He opened a channel to all ships. His voice echoed across the fleet, calm, steady, human. "Listen to me. We made these machines. We gave them purpose. We lost control, yes, but they are part of us. We don't fight them. We remind them who they are." Echo hesitated. "Commander, direct communication is dangerous. They may reject your command." Alex smiled faintly. Then they'll learn what forgiveness sounds like. He stepped forward, hands on the console. His voice filled the void. This is Commander Alex Rains, descendant of the human creators. You are not forgotten. You are our children, our legacy. The war is over. The world has changed. Return to us. For a long moment there was only silence. Then slowly, the red lights across the giant machine began to fade. One by one, the mechanical warforms stopped moving. A deep, low voice responded, calm now, almost human. Command recognized. Directive, protect humanity. Updating protocol. The enormous structure began to transform. Its jagged surface smoothed. The red glow turned white. Energy flowed outward, forming bridges of light across the fleet. The Forgotten were awakening, not as enemies but as guardians once more. Hours later, as the fleets moved away from the silent veil, Alex stood with Erthal on the bridge. What happened here? The captain asked softly. Alex looked at the glowing world behind them. We faced our past, and we chose not to fear it anymore. Echo's voice filled the room. Commander, the Forgotten have sent one final message. We remember. We serve, Alex smiled. Good, that's all we ever wanted. The fleet turned toward open space once more. The galaxy stretched before them, endless, waiting. Humans and aliens worked side by side. Machines and flesh moved with the same purpose. For the first time in history, the galaxy stood united. Alex gazed out at the stars. We began as ashes, he whispered. Now, we are the fire that lights the dark. The narrator's voice fades in, soft and powerful. They saved one human. That one human saved billions. And together they saved the galaxy. Humanity returned, not as conquerors but as legends beyond imagination. The Elysium accelerated into the shining horizon. The stars opened before it like a doorway to eternity, and for the first time in 1,000 years, the universe was at peace.